All right, let's talk Unihertz Titan 2 Elite after a week of use now. I have the original Titan 2 out here, not for a straight comparison video, but there are a couple things that I would like to highlight right off the bat because they are quite different experiences in the hand. If you had to ask me, the Titan 2 typing experience is more what I prefer. I like the wider experience. I like the wider keys. I like having that more expansive display, but I was always a Passport fan, so please keep that in mind. But that didn't mean that I didn't love my BlackBerry Classic as well. You know, we talked about that. I used to carry this around all the time. I actually used to have both of them, and I'd swap back and forth. That's how much I like both form factors, but for me, the preference is going to be a little bit wider here. I also like the fact that the power button and the fingerprint sensor is raised a bit more on the Titan 2. It's not recessed, but it's a little almost flush against the side of the chassis here, and it is, you hit it, but it's still, you're hunting for it a little bit sometimes. Those are minor things. But that being said, there's plenty of advantages to the Titan 2 Elite. Because yes, I like the wider keyboard experience over here on the Titan 2, but boy, you pay for that. Not in price necessarily, but you pay for it in weight, and you pay for it in the fact that this is a bit of a bulky device to carry around in your pocket. When this is in your pocket, you feel it. And that's something that everyone has to kind of make their own decision on. But that to some degree, that's what it was like on the old Passport as well. This is phenomenal to carry around. Really nice. 163 grams. Yes, it's still 10.4 millimeters thick, but 163 grams, I don't care about that as much. That doesn't bother me as much. 4-inch display, so yeah, not as much screen real estate, but that's one of the trade-offs you're making over here too, to have a nice compact design that fits and is nice to carry around. Keyboard is still a wonderful experience. If you're somebody that was used to a BlackBerry Classic, kind of the smaller keyboard, you have a Bold, or you had a Bold rather, I should say, then this is going to feel at home to you. I've typed thousands of words through this keyboard, and I don't have any thumb fatigue, which is always a credit to the switches. Nice, they have enough of a tactile feel, enough of that click feeling, but it's not so tough to click that my thumbs go ahead and they start feeling a little fatigue after a few emails get pounded out. It's a device that knows exactly what it is. You know, some people want me to show Instagram again, and sure, the Instagram thing isn't necessarily, I'm sure they're going to work out the software because there's a couple things here. My thing is on this, you're not seeing an entire post. It's not really meant for that. Things like that will work on it, but it's not a phone designed for gaming unless it's retro gaming, right? Because retro gaming is actually fantastic. You can have the button set up and the layout and the actual aspect ratio works for retro gaming, but it's not a phone meant for gaming, and it's not a phone necessarily meant for some forms of social media. Now what it is, WhatsApp, Threads is fine on it, LinkedIn, the Slack, Telegram. I was doing a ton of work on this week. Work, business stuff, work stuff for Android Police. I didn't have a single problem getting anything I wanted to get done on the Unihertz Titan 2 Elite. And that is saying something out of a phone that out of pocket, click on the link in the description. I don't think it helps the channel, but whatever. I'm just going to put that disclaimer in there anyway. You could get on the Kickstarter for $380. If you're sitting there and telling me we could pick up one of these for $380, get yourself the Dimensity 7400. I don't see this is why if you're keeping it for X amount of years, right? You get the 5 years of support now. Unihertz has done a great job kind of seeing which way the wind blows. We'll talk about that in a moment. But if you're getting it for 5 years, maybe you think about spending a bit more. Maybe you think about that $480 price tag, getting the Dimensity 8400 in this, so you future-proof yourself a little bit. Get yourself a little bit more. But for everybody else, I don't really know where that extra power is going to come into play. Because I had the Dimensity 7400 for a while. I believe that's the chipset. Yeah, pretty sure it's the chipset in the Razr 2025. No problems with that. It's not really a chipset that you're going to feel behind on doing the types of things that the Titan 2 Elite was designed to do. Email, web browsing, communicating, WhatsApp, typing, email, all those things that you used to get done on your BlackBerry, you're going to be just fine with a Dimensity 7400. And I like the fact that Unihertz has matured quite a bit. It used to be, and listen, the complaints that I get all the time are perfectly valid about the Unihertz products. Oh, I bought one years ago, I got one update, I got one security patch, it was a mess and whatever. Yes, and if you remember, Those smaller niche companies, or even the cheaper budget phones back in the day, didn't really come with that much software support. It wasn't until the last few years where even the flagship companies, or on their flagship phones, Samsung, Google, Apple's always kind of supported their devices, but Samsung and Google said, you know what? It's longer support is a selling point. We're going to provide that to people. We're going to advertise it. And then it eventually trickled down. So now you have Unihertz saying, you know what, we're going to give you 5 years of support. I don't know what that's going to look like. Is it going to be monthly security patches? Is it going to be quarterly security patches? I don't know. What I know is that as long as the company commits to providing those updates and those version upgrades, I have no problem with it, as long as they follow through. They follow through, and then I'm good. It wasn't a priority before. It is now. And that's what Unihertz has really stepped up. They've also stepped up because you can look at, we're going to talk about battery life here in a minute. They also stepped up when you can do the shortcut keys. I love the way that they handle the software. It's not enough to bolt a keyboard on to an Android device. It really isn't. You have to have a software layer. It's never going to be like BlackBerry OS. It's never going to be like BB10, where the entire experience is built from the ground up for a keyboard. But Unihertz, for as much as they could do on top of Android, has done a pretty decent job. I like the fact that I could change the system keys around, the function keys. If I don't like this layout, if I want to change the layout out a little bit, I can go ahead and do that. The back key, the home key, the reset key, space key. I could do the whole thing. The side keys, the function key on the side. I could program that to push to talk. If you have one of your apps, I could launch an app that way. Long press, short press. There's a lot of things that Unihertz adds on top of here. The capacitive keyboard that you can use that really go well with having a keyboard and taking advantage of that. Because with a 4-inch display, I don't want my thumbs up here if they don't have to be. Unless my thumbs absolutely have to be up here, I want them down on the keyboard. That's where swiping here comes into play. That's where swiping back and forth comes into play. That's where these long and short presses really, really make a difference, because you're not eliminating any of that space with your thumb, which is huge. Let's talk about the display. I said this in an Android Police article coming out next week. I have been using Unihertz devices for a long time now, 5, 6, 7 years. You go back as far as you want. Never has there been an occasion where I could sit there and say a display on a Unihertz device is a selling point, is a reason why you'd pick one up. You're always kind of getting these devices, these Unihertz devices, in spite of the display, not because of it. And this is the first time you could get this device because of the display. 120 hertz, OLED panel, 4.03 inches, whatever the kind of goofy, whatever it is there. Absolutely vibrant, bright, gorgeous. I love the fact that Unihertz would full Samsung with going with the vibrancy slider that you could put in the display. Adaptive brightness will lock. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Nightlight, color contrast, refresh rate, keyboard, all this stuff. But let me see if I could actually, color scheme. Yeah, vivid. I could go ahead and pump that up right there. Really nice display. I got it set all the way up. I got it cranked. I got the brightness all the way up at 100% because I just absolutely love the way this panel looks. And if you use your Hertz device in the past, LCDs are fine. The LCD on this one isn't bad. The colors are good. But an LCD is an LCD. When you look at it off angle, or if you're looking at a black screen or something like that, you're going to know this is an LCD. I like this phone a lot, but you could tell it's an LCD. This is gorgeous. Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. The app experience is what you'd expect on a form factor like this. Is everything going to be fit perfectly fantastic? No. You got the rounded corners and the rounded display. WhatsApp, kind of the send button kind of gets lost in there. But I haven't run into anything mission critical. I haven't run into anything that's a showstopper. I can't use X yet still. I think that's a software thing. Don't forget, we're 2 months to release. That's a certification thing. There's a few things that need to go on here. But to me, there's nothing here that we haven't gotten used to compromising before on other keyboard phones in the past. There's nothing new here that really alarms me. So those are things that you're all going to look at. Battery life on the silicon carbon battery is fantastic. You saw 57% left. This has been off the charger since 8:30 in the morning. It's now 8:30 at night. I've used it for 2 hours of screen on time. So I could easily see if I crank the brightness down a little bit, you can easily get 6, 7 hours of screen on time with this, with tracks. It tracks with the Dimensity 7400 and all the rest of it. So that really makes sense. And that's a really, really nice experience on a Unihertz device as well. I could go hard on this all day long, get all my work done, type around, feel fantastic, get that feel that I love on a keyboard phone, and still have enough battery life. 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. Just a really nice package. The dual 50 megapixel sensors will do the job. A lot of people have luck putting Gcam on this. that might be something that you investigate. I don't think, I'm not really buying this for the camera, but if you really want the camera, you can get Gcam on here and get some of that computational prowess from Google on this device. Let me tell you something. Are you ever going to type as fast on a physical keyboard phone as you do your glass slab? To me, the answer is no. However, I also don't care about that. Because let me tell you something. As much as we'd like to, in the group chat or on work chat, but to pound out responses and throw your phone back on the extra second or two that it takes to type out, because I'm more accurate on a physical keyboard, the extra second or two it takes you to craft that message, let me tell you something, doesn't go to waste. It's not a bad thing, it's not a negative. We could all use an extra couple seconds to think about what we say before we send it. And that's something everything I've typed out has been purposeful. And I found myself intentionally taking a beat. I wanted to respond to somebody earlier. We were talking about something back and forth. And I wanted to respond fast, but I'm just going to take a minute. And I'm crafting my response. I'm writing out what I want to say. You mean what you say and say what you mean or whatever it is and send it and we're good. I really love that on a physical keyboard. I can't wait for the communicator. Loving what I get from the Unihertz on the Titan 2 Elite. I think if you're a fan, if you've been a fan of these devices in the past, if you're looking to spend $380, boy, there's a heck of a lot worse ways to spend $380. Even if you turn this into like a secondary device, a device you carry around, maybe a device you carry around for work. I can easily see myself carrying around this or the communicator for work, my personal business, stuff like that. Have one of these in your pocket. It doesn't take up a lot of weight. It doesn't take up a lot of space. Just a really, really nice experience from front to back. I think Unihertz has nailed it. They're going to clean up the software. They're going to deliver on the software support. But I think overall, you're really, really going to like the experience that you get with this device here. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time. Boy, I hope the rain isn't too loud for you. Absolutely pouring outside. I think we got an inch of rain so far today. Just an absolute rainy Saturday. But that happens sometimes. Sometimes you like that. You just can relax a little bit. I'm on my keyboard phone. I'm super chill. I'm typing out responses at my pace, listening to the rain. My Red Sox fired their manager today. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.